I just appreciate everybody being here today. Good morning, and I'm excited to be able to introduce Matt Guerrieri to our staff. Really excited about having Matt joining us. I've known each other for over 10 years, and really in this profession you have a chance to meet a lot of awesome people and talk ball and share ideas, and he's one of those. And when he worked with Coach Cutt there at Duke for many, many years, and so had a chance to build that relationship, and a lot of similarities in philosophy defensively. And he was a safeties coach there at first when we first met him, and then as a GA moved up into that role and then became the defensive coordinator there, called the defense for Duke there, and Coach Cutt for 4 years. And so most recently been with Ohio State. So excited to have him with us. Going to be this situation is the way that I'd like for this to be organized. Really, I want to follow the pattern we used in 2019. I'm going to have Coach Guerrieri is going to be calling the defense, much like Coach Womack did, and I'll be heavily involved, but he'll be the play caller on game day, and that way it'll allow me to be able to be a better head football coach of this team. And so really, with everything that we have and the dynamics of college football today, I really feel like that's the best direction to go, but had to have had the right person for that particular role. So excited to have him here, and we'll have him make an opening statement this time.
Well, great to be here, guys. Matt Guerrieri is my name. The players call me Coach G. No one has to pronounce that long Italian last name, including you guys in here. But really excited to be here with Coach Allen in Bloomington at IU. Really appreciative of this opportunity from Coach Allen. Just to tell you a little bit about me, my dad was in the Navy, so born in Maryland, lived in Naples, Italy for a couple of years, back to Maryland. Ohio's home to me. So my mom's from Cleveland, east side of Cleveland. That's where I was raised. My dad's from Youngstown, but spent time in Ohio. I played college football at Davidson College, little 1AA school down near Charlotte. Met my wife there. We've been married for 4 years, but dated for 10 years. The greatest recruitment I've ever had is 10 years of keeping her around. One son that's 2 years old and another son on the way. Started my coaching career at Lenore-Ryan University, D2 school in Hickory, North Carolina. Was at Duke University after that as a GA, then safeties, then co-defensive coordinator, call plays there for 4 years. Then it was at Ohio State this past year, and at Tulsa for about a month before coming here to IU for this opportunity. So that's my path and who I am. I'm an open book, and look forward to building relationships with all of you.
All right, let's start with Matt. Matt, say who you are, who you work for, please.
Hey, Coach. Matt Weaver, 247pigs.com. Obviously, there's a relationship there with Coach Allen, but what was it that he said to you? What was about the opportunity that kind of resonated with you that made you want to come here and join the staff?
Yeah, I think a number of things, but when you look at IU in the Big Ten, as a coach, you want to be at the highest level, and that's what this opportunity is here, right? To compete at the absolute highest level you have a high-level, prestigious institution, and you're competing in the greatest conference in the country. So that was obviously exciting for me. And then my relationship with Coach Allen. I'm a relationship guy, and who I work with is important, and I've known him for a decade. I've sat in his meetings at Ole Miss when he was a special teams coordinator. When he was down at USF, I was recruiting Tampa for Duke and recruiting Thomas, and we continued our relationship, and that's been great. And then it's also an opportunity for me to be close to home too. My mom is in Cleveland. My wife is still in Columbus right now. Going to have a baby here soon, and so those things together, it was kind of a perfect storm, with the opportunity.
Coach Allen, you said that you're relinquishing the play calling duties to Coach G. What is it about his defensive philosophy that makes you comfortable with that decision?
Well, when you talk ball for many years, you get a chance to understand how people think. That's really big for me. That creates the buy-in of what you do, and when I kind of equate it to what we did in 19 is the fact that it's going to be our system and someone that really believes in it, and just from all that time together, and then just obviously when you watch people play and the things that they do, and there's certain philosophical alignments that you have and how you attack things. What are your answers in situations, and you have to have that core belief that that's how you do it. If not, when it's really bullets are flying, you won't really trust in that or call that, and so I want to make sure, and even for us, even with Kane and I, it was really kind of an ongoing process of kind of meshing those together. So, but I think that's really that alignment, and it's a very short list of guys that I have that I would feel this way about, and he's always been on that short list, and so just the timing of this with everything worked out for everybody, which was awesome. So I just think that this is someone I've always had an eye on. Like you said, he recruited Thomas. You know, he went to their camp. That's probably when I first met him. Yep. You know, and so that opportunity to see him coach, you know, in that camp setting, you know, was kind of when I first knew, hey, this guy's pretty sharp now, and even as a young GA. And so, but I just think that that was the beginning of it. And then, you know, I know Coach Cutcliffe so well. You know, his son actually, Coach Cutcliffe's son was Tom was his offensive coordinator in high school. Most of you may not know that, at Oxford High School way back. And so he would come back even, you know, he obviously was the former head coach at Ole Miss, but had some ties there because of that and also because of his son being there. So that even just to be able to be around their staff more over the years was a connection there without doubt. And even, you know, when he was the first person I called, you know, just about this opportunity for Matt. I called Coach Cut, you know. So just be able to have that individual that knows him well, has worked with him. He was his defensive coordinator, called his plays, you know, for that staff. So that really gave me a tremendous amount of confidence in that regard. And so, they did a lot of good things there as well. In similar type of, you know, situation in terms of recruiting and type of university, and you got the basketball history. Just all the alignments of the two universities, I think, created a similar dynamic that you're trying to recruit to and try and build, you know, a top-level defense in that setting. So that I think there were other things that created a strong desire for me to feel like this is a good fit.
Pete and Jack.
Coach, over here, Pete DePremia with IU Athletics. Can you talk a little bit about your defensive philosophy, how you approach, how you like to attack offenses?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, you know, it aligns directly with Coach Allen's. We've been a base 4-2-5 for a number of years. I played in numerous different, you know, I played in a 3-4 defense. I've been in a 4-3 and a 3-3-5 and a 4-2-5, you know, and I think it goes to, from a philosophy standpoint, Coach Allen would say tackling, takeaways, and effort, and those are the three pillars of who we are, you know, and that's not going to change from that standpoint. Then I think from a coaching standpoint is, first, what does your personnel do best, right? So our players, how do they function best? What do they do from a coverage, from a rush, from a defending the run? How do they function best? I think then it goes to, what do we coach best, right, as a staff? What do we feel best about and implementing schematically? And then the third thing is, how do people attack you? Right, and then you try to, you know, say, okay, we're taking these plays away and forcing an offense to play what we would consider left-handed, and you put those three pieces together and put the guys in the best position to go be successful. But it still comes back to the fundamentals, right? How we tackle, how we take the football away, and the effort that we play with.
All right, Jack, and your left, and Ravi.
Hey, Matt. My name is Jack Ankeny with SI Indiana. It says your role with Ohio State was senior advisor and analyst. I guess more specifically, what were some of your responsibilities there, and how do you think that impacted you, or what did you learn in that role?
Yeah, so I was, Jim Knowles and I have had a long-lasting relationship. We were together for 6 years at Duke, and that was really how I got to Ohio State, was the opportunity to be with him. And I was an extra, I know his system well, right? So I helped from an implementation to the staff of his defensive system, and then was an extra set of eyes for him, of a guy that had coordinated a similar philosophy defense, as far as, advance on, next opponent that we would play, or ideas, or things that are going well or not going well, that type of stuff. So, I was kind of behind the scenes, extra set of coordinator eyes for him, and was able to help any way that I could, with his responsibilities.
Ravi on your right, and Keith.
Hey, Coach. Jeff Rabjohn, Speaks.com. Can you just kind of take us through the logistics, like how it's going to work, who's going to be responsible for what, and the details on you said the play calling is going to be not you, and just take us through how that's going to work.
Yeah, so for me, obviously we have, Coach Wilt has done a tremendous job for us coaching the backers, and they're going to be really co-DCs, and obviously I met with Chad about this prior to this decision, and so basically he'll be responsible for really kind of as I told him, I said, just the toughest our defense to help organizationally structure like he has in the past. That really, his responsibilities aren't going to really change. But in terms of scripting, and organizing the team components, that will be under, Coach Guerrieri's responsibility, and really just the direction of our defense on a daily basis, and be able to, I want to be able to walk out of the room, and be able to have, just really no drop off, in what's going on in that meeting. And that happens more and more, and so I just think to be able to go through, I think structurally, as we function, there'll be a lot of similarities. But I would say the difference will be on game day. Instead of me calling him, he's going to be calling him. So that would be a very strong difference. But from a practice perspective, I want to have the ability to be able to go to both sides of the football. I've been predominantly on defense, this whole last season during practice time when we're going into the season. Obviously, during spring ball and in fall camp, I'm obviously just kind of overseeing everything. But want to be able to have that ability to be on both, be in both sides of the football. So that would allow him to be able to be over those responsibilities of scripting practice from the team perspective, and Coach Wilt will do probably the we call the inside run or the run game portion of that, and but be able to work together, those guys. But I think to me the biggest difference will be that the actual play calling. That's really and then just the motivation of the defense will be between Coach Wilt and Coach Guerrieri together, and being able to use their skills, and they both have tremendous skills and talents and qualities that are going to allow our defense to continue to build off of what we have built here. And so, and for me too, last year wasn't what we wanted. We got to make some adjustments. You don't just sit here and just do the same old thing all over again, and go make some changes. And I think Matt's a very creative guy. We've already had great times together talking, and want to be able to have some wrinkle adjustments, that people can't sit on the whole off season and expect you to be in and do things a certain way. So want to be able to keep growing our system in that regard. So that's part of it as well. And so I think you have as many, sharp guys on your side of the football that can come together and help us have a great defense and get back to where we know we need to be and want to be. So I just believe that this is a great next step for our team. And I'm just trying to go through and make the best decision. Obviously, this is these last 2 years as college football has really, really changed. I don't think it's going back to what it used to be in those areas. And so those things are going to continue to be a big part of the environment that we're in as a staff and things we have to do on a daily basis. So having a coach here now with us will be able to, I think, free me up to be able to do a better job of those and be able to allow our defense to be able to get back to where I know we need to be.
Keegan in the middle, that's that.
Coach, just kind of following up on that, relinquishing play calling duties, is there you talked about a specific aspect on either side of the ball that you yourself want to have more of a vested interest in to kind of turn around what didn't work last season?
I mean, just running the ball and stopping the run. To me, those two things kind of stick out. I just feel like that, our toughness is a word that we're emphasizing this year, which is just the physical and emotional ability to persevere, and I just think as the game, has transpired, and obviously we want to be able to do a great job in both phases. We got to throw the football and defend the pass. There's no doubt about that. But just the toughness piece of our team, and just being able to, as you kind of have the ever-growing, changing roster movements of guys, I think those relationship piece is huge for me. I know last year that was really challenging to do in the season because you're in there behind closed doors, studying tons of film, from, as soon as the game's over pretty much, you're grading that one and you're going on to the next opponent all the way till late to the wee hours of the night on Thursday night, So I just feel like that I want to be able to, I was able to in 19 and 20, I was able to be able to even meet with players during that time, during the season. Was not able to do that. That's one of my strengths. That's one of the strengths of what we built here. And I think with the transiency of the game and the way it's become with the portal and the movement of players now that I don't think is going to change in the future. I know that I've talked it over with our staff, and I think that's, without question, one of my strengths and something that I love doing, and I think it helps a lot, and with our players, and I feel like I lost that a little bit, so need the time to do that. So I think that's probably at the core of this, is for me to be able to continue to build those strong relationships and connect with our guys at a deeper level to help make sure that they're able to be at their best, and being able to help them and guide them and develop them in that area, So as we continue to schematically be at our best and allow us to, be able to do those things we need to do. So to me, I think that's probably at the core of it, and I'm just trying to play to my strengths, and there's no doubt I love calling defense. I do. I enjoy that part of it, So, but it's just the reality of the demands of what we're doing, but be able to have a person like this that we can bring here that can take that on, and I have total confidence in was huge, and without that I would have probably stayed in the same room.
Seth in the middle, and then Mason.
Hi, I'm Seth Tao with the Daily Hoosier. Matt, there's a little bit of turnover on the defense as a whole, some youth that'll be kind of in this team. What's your approach to player development and just kind of teaching the game?
Yeah, it starts with relationships. Like I'm a firm believer if you do not have a true, authentic relationship in any field that you're in, no one is the best version of themselves. So that's something that I'm starting to do is one-on-one player meeting. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your upbringing. What motivates you? What do you want to be one day? You know, you want to have a family? Do you want to do this from a work standpoint? Tell me about your classes, you know, your girlfriend, everything, right? And that's, you know, so that I know that's not exactly what you were asking, but that's how where it starts for me, right? Is what is the relationship, right? How do you really build trust, right? So to me, trust is built through first caring. Does someone really know that you love them and do you care about them? The next part to me is competency. Does a player know that I'm going to help them get better? If not, then they're not going to work hard, right? And then the third thing is consistency. So am I the same person every single day for those guys? And that goes both ways. That's my expectation from a player, is that we're able to build those things. And the expectation from player to coach is to be able to build those three things. And I know it doesn't happen just like that, right? So I'm a new guy. Everybody's got a blank slate with me because I don't know them. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, hey, where are these guys at? And then help get them where they need to be. You know, one of my philosophies as a coach goes back to the old stagecoach term. The stagecoach took someone from where they were to a desired destination. That's us as coaches, right? So we take the player from where they're at right now to a desired destination. And I take that role very seriously. That's them as a young man. That's them as a player. They all have big dreams and goals. That's us as a football team. You know, so that's my job is to build that relationship individually and then collectively with the defense and help Coach Allen and our team achieve our goals.
Mason in the middle, then Matt.
Matt, nice to meet you. I'm Mason Williams with thehoosier.com. I'm curious about kind of sticking on the theme with relationships. What's your first impression and how you've started to mend that relationship with Coach Wilt? Alan just mentioned you guys will be co-DCs. How have you guys started to gel so far?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with who he is as a man. I think Coach Allen has built a tremendous staff with two things. Obviously, great football coaches, but great men. And Chad Wilt, to me, has completely impressed me with, you know, open arms, welcoming me here, who he is as a man, the conversations that we've had one-on-one and collectively as a defense so far. So I'm really encouraged about the process. I'm a continuous learner, right? So I want to learn from what Chad Wilt knows and, you know, can implement into, you know, what Coach Allen's already started defensively here for a long period of time. And, but no, I'm excited about continuing to grow that relationship. Yeah, and that's the same way too. Like, everybody else on defense has been here for a little bit, right? And so I'm the new random outside guy coming in, so those relationships are critical too, you know? And I feel really confident in being able to build those relationships, and I think that's important as a staff too. A staff has to be like that, right? And if we're not united that way, then it won't function well. So, yeah, no, the relationships from a coach to coach, coach to player, back and forth, that's who I am. If you say, what's important to me as a coach, like what would I want guys to know is relationships are important.
Matt, then we'll wrap up with Zach.
Hey, Coach Allen. I know since the first of the month, you know, recruiting's kind of come to a halt with it being a dead period. You guys have been able to be around the team and workouts. I know there's been some videos put out. What have you liked from what you've seen from your guys and the conditioning and stuff, and kind of what stands out about their effort, if you know, since that time?
Yeah, I tell you what, you know, you have a chance to, you know, be around him now, which has been huge. You know, Coach was with them a couple days here, which is get his outside perspective, you know, and for me, the thing that jumps out is I think we got a hungry football team. You know, I think, matter of fact, that's the exact word I think Matt used when he first watched our first workout, you know, just the effort. I think we got a good mix of guys that are want change here, that have been here and want to get that back. And then the new guys have something to prove, you know, opportunity. They got a window of time to be able to come here and to be able to take their game to another level. So I think it's a really good combination. There's obviously, you know, a lot of work ahead of us. Haven't started one practice yet officially for spring. That'll be on March 4th here, 2 weeks from today. But I love what I'm seeing. The work ethic has been tremendous. We've had record number of guys coming in extra, doing things they don't have to do. And that's really the key everybody in America is doing. You know, the 5 days a week that you can do with your guys and the 8 hours we have with them legally during this time of year, which is what we do and what we follow. And so then they have to do things on their own to be able to be another higher level of performance. So, and I think we got a good core of guys back, but we also got a lot of new faces, especially on defense. And as you go through and look at the secondary and the linebackers and some guys up front that have been here for a while, they're moved on and had a chance to help us here in a huge way. And so now we got new guys. And so there's young guys that are hungry to be able to have their shot. You got some older guys that have been here that want to step up and elevate their game, and you got new guys that are fighting to be the guy as well. So I think we have a lot of competition, and I like that a lot. A lot of competition, a lot of spots, and we need that, and that excites me. And so I'm really excited to get into spring football here real soon and find out exactly where we are.
Zach on your left, last one.
Hey, Matt. Zach Green with Hoosier Huddle. I'm just wondering your early impressions and feelings of the guys that you have on defense.
Yeah, I've been impressed with them. I watched workouts this week, and I've been, like Coach said, I think this is a hungry football team. And I think that there's a good mix of veteran and youth on that side of the ball. There's a good mix of guys that have been here and some transfer portal additions. And my blink reaction is I've been impressed. And I think there's the pieces that we need, the raw material that we need to be able to build a high-level defense. And so I've been impressed from that standpoint. And, that's all I could really say right now. I don't know everybody yet. Obviously I'll, build relationships with every single one of those guys. But I've been really impressed with what Coach Allen and the staff has built.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Have a great day, Leo.
Thanks, guys.